Hello and welcome everyone to the in-new series of Drishti IAS. My name is Pragya. In today's interesting episode of this series, we are going to discuss a very significant and an interesting news. The title of our today's discussion is The central government has signed a key pact with the Tripura government and the main opposition party in the state, that is known as Tipra Motha, and this historic agreement is known as the Tripura Accord. So in this discussion today, we are going to study about the news firstly, then we are also going to examine what are the demands that have been put by the forward by the Tipra Motha alliance. Then we are also going to understand the background of the demand. Then we are also going to examine what does the accord say. Then we are also going to understand the significance of the accord to the tribal people in the state of Tripura. And lastly, we are going to discuss a practice question for your prelims examination and a practice question for your mains examination. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic or the news, so there has been a tripartite agreement. Tripartite agreement between the central government, the Tripura government and the Tipra Motha alliance, which was since last few days continuously talking about the tribal rights. In fact, on February 27, the chief of the Tipra Motha alliance, Mr. Pradyot Debbarma, started his fast unto death to satisfy all of the demands of the tribal rights for the indigenous people of the state of Tripura. And finally, on March 2, this agreement was signed to arrive on an amicable solution for the demands that have been raised by the tribal peoples through Tipra Motha in the state of Tripura. So this brings us to the moot point of our today's discussion, that what are the demands that have been put forward by the largest opposition party in the state, Tipra Motha. So basically, firstly, they are demanding a separate state known as Greater Tripura land. So basically, it is a separate state that has been asked from the central government, and this separate state will be carved out of the state of Tripura. So basically, it seeks to include those living outside the Tripura Tribal Areas Autonomous District Council or the TTAA-DC area as well. So we all know that autonomous district councils are formed under 6th schedule of our Indian Constitution. And they have a certain degree of autonomy, be it legislative, be it administrative, or be it judicial, and they work for the rights of the tribal people in the northeastern states. So basically, it is seeking to include all of the tribal peoples who were left out of the jurisdiction of this Tripura Tribal Areas Autonomous District Council. So basically, it is alleged by Tipra Motha alliance that yes, after the 1971 war, the tribal people in the state of Tripura were excluded from their own native homeland because there was a huge influx of migrants from the state of Bangladesh into the state of Tripura. If you analyze the map of Tripura, you will see that on three sides of its borders, it is surrounded by Bangladesh. So there was a huge migration from Bangladesh to the state of Tripura, and that is why the own native people of the state of Tripura were neglected. The party has sought more powers for the TTAA-DC, including direct funding from the center, its own police force, and share of revenue from gas exploration in the state. And if you talk about the autonomous district councils, initially they are funded by the state governments, but currently it is asking that no, the TTAA-DC should be funded directly by the central government. We do not want any kind of interference from the state government. Moving forward, let us analyze the background of the demand. Why this demand has been forward by the Tipra Motha alliance. So basically, The Tripura Land Revenue and Land Reforms Act was enacted in the 1960. So in the constitutional amendment series in our polity primer, we are discussing that yes, abolishment of zamindari system. The land reforms was a key focus area after we achieved independence, and it started from the very first constitutional amendment itself, because India wanted to establish itself as a welfare state, and through this Tripura Land Revenue and Land Reforms Act 1960, all the land in the state of Tripura, was placed in the hands of government. Placed in the hands of state government. So basically the tribal land which originally belonged to the tribal people was placed in the hands of the state government through this act. And through the Constitution 34th Amendment Act, all the land sealing acts were placed in the 9th schedule of our Indian Constitution. That means you could not challenge them in courts even if they are violative of your fundamental rights. And to remove all of the hindrances in the land reforms, finally the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act removed right to property as a fundamental right. And now it is included in Article 300A of our Indian Constitution. Okay, so basically it is no longer a fundamental right, it is just your legal right or a constitutional right. And this was done to overcome the challenges that were there in the process of the land reforms. Moving forward. Now let us examine what does the Tripura Accord say, what are the significant provisions of this accord. So basically under the pact, it was agreed to amicably resolve all issues of indigenous people of Tripura relating to history, land and political rights, economic development, identity, culture and language. So basically whatever wrong was done to them historically is made to be right through this accord. And that is why a joint working committee will also be constituted. And this joint working committee that will be constituted will look into the demands of the indigenous people in the state of Tripura, or basically the tribal rights, okay, and it will try to find a honorable solution, it will try to find an amicable solution between the central government and the Tripura government and Tipra Motha, so that the tribal rights in the state can be protected. As per this agreement, all the state stakeholders are prohibited from staging any kind of protests or agitation as well, okay. So they are not allowed to stage any kind of protest, agitation from the date this agreement has been signed, so as to maintain a conductive environment or a conducive environment for this agreement to maintain peace in the state of Tripura. Moving forward. Now let us examine the significance of the historic Tripura Accord that has been signed. So the government has respected history, corrected past wrongs and accepted the present reality to proceed towards a brighter future by signing the agreement. And this statement has been made by our Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. So he has recognized the value of the tribal people. See, if you talk about the state of Tripura, 60 as legislative assembly seats are there and 20 seats are reserved for the tribal population. That means a government cannot be formed by the support of the tribal people in the state of Tripura. Tripura also has 2 Lok Sabha territorial constituencies. So definitely this accord is very significant, and through this accord it is predicted that the Tipra Motha is going to form a government with the ruling BJP in the state. And as I have explained that it was agreed to reach on an amicable solution, a honorable solution, and to keep all of the rights of the tribal population in the state intact. Okay, so this is the main significance of the Tripura Accord. With this, we come to a conclusion of our today's session. We have seen what is the historic Tripura Accord that has been signed. We have also understood that yes, what are the demands by the Tipra Motha, what was the background of the demands, why the tribal people in their own state are feeling like aliens. Okay, why are they demanding more autonomy to the Tripura tribal areas autonomous district council. Okay, so we have understood all of this, and we have also seen that yes, this historic accord has been signed, and though it is not giving a radical solution as of now, but yes, it is very important to maintain peace in the state of Tripura before the general elections take place this year. So let me know in the comment box below, what do you think? Is this accord a real deal, or it is just to pacify the people before the general elections? Kindly let me know this in the comment box below. Now let us discuss a practice question for your prelims examination. So the question is, the autonomous district councils are created under which schedule of the Indian Constitution? So your options are, option A is 5th schedule, option B is 6th schedule, option C is 9th schedule, or option D is 12th schedule. So kindly drop your answers in the comment box below. Now let us discuss a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, critically analyze the demand for Greater Tipra land. Will it achieve constitutional solutions to the indigenous people of Tripura? So firstly, we will write how new states are created under Article 2 and 3 of our Indian Constitution. Then you can write that no, creation of a new state is not the solution. Instead, give them constitutional safeguards as has been given to the state of Tripura under Article 371 of our Indian Constitution. Instead, give more power to the autonomous district council, because the demand for Greater Tipra land by the Tipra Motha has not been stated in the accord. Now it is just demanding a constitutional solution to the problems of the tribal people in the state. So you can write that yes, constitutional solutions can be given, they can be enforced in the courts. Okay, more power should be given to the autonomous district councils. The right of the tribal people over their land, identity and culture should be protected. So yes, you can conclude very holistically that always creating a new state is not a solution. Instead, constitutional safeguards should be there for the tribal people to enforce their rights. Okay, and they can be a representative of the government in the Tripura Autonomous District Council as well, so as to understand the issues better, and the joint committee, working committee that is trying to provide for an amicable solution should be formed soon. So you can conclude your answer very holistically. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, you can drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such updates. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.